Philadelphia Eagles, they were defeated, of course, in that game by the Raiders, had an excellent kicking year. He said he felt that his Super Bowl performance was one of his many disappointments. He felt that this has been his best year. Crowd on its feet. Dennis Gentry is deep for the Bears, along with Willie Gault. It's the Gault side of the field at the 7. And he stopped shy of the 20-yard line. Johnny Rembert in for the New England tackle. Jim McMahon brings the Bear offense on the field. Hilgenberg is the center. Thayer and Bortz at guard, and Van Horn and Covert the tackles. Moorhead the tight end with Willie Gault, an Olympic sprinter on one side, and Dennis McKinnon, a good position man on the other side. McMahon, the quarterback, with Payton and Suey behind him. First down, Chicago at the 18-yard line. Who else? Walter. And Payton with a gain of about 7 before Steve Nelson can drag him down. New England Patriots defense, a 3-man front. Lester Williams on the nose with the rookie Veras and the veteran Adams at the ends. Tippett and Nelson, 2 Pro Bowlers. McGrew and Blackman is as good as anything, they say. Lepet and Claiborne at the corners. James and Marion at safety. Payton drilled, fumbles the ball. And who has it? The New England Patriots do. And this is the pattern of the underdogs from New England, forcing the turnovers. 16 of them in the first 3 playoff games. And the underdogs have come up with a big break today. Julius Adams was the man who made the hit, and Larry McGrew, number 50, recovers the ball.
Here's that last play. It's just as the New England coaches and players would like to have written the script. There's the ball on the ground. A big hit inside, and McGrew inside to pick it up. Garen Veras, the man who looked like pounced on that, banged him and knocked it free.
Tony Eason, play action fake. He's going to go for the quick score, throwing for his tight end. Incomplete. Lynn Dawson, number 87, and he may have been injured on the play.
Dawson has been fighting tendonitis in that left knee, and he had to wait for that ball. It looked like he may have strained that knee trying to pull that pass in.
Dawson, the tight end from North Carolina State, covered by Marshall in the flat.
Look at him wait for this ball, Dick, and I think right there he tripped a little bit. He goes down on that left knee, and perhaps it was the bounce. Looks like he's grabbing his right knee there. That's
now Derek Ramsey will come in to replace Dawson, as the Patriots with a fumble recovery inside the Bear 20-yard line. I think Dawson wanted to go for it all into the end zone, and Lynn Dawson was a secondary target. So Tony Easton and that Patriot offense on the field. Let's introduce them to you. Pete Brock with Hanna and Wooten at guard. Holloway and Moore are the tackles. Holloway and Hanna are both Pro Bowlers. That left side very strong. Stanley Morgan averages over 20 yards a catch in his career. Stephen Starring for Irving Fryer. We expect to see a lot of Fryer today. Easton is the quarterback with James and Collins behind him.
That big offensive line, 6'5" and an average with 277 pounds. We talked about how critical that matchup is. Dawson is up on his feet now. Let's take another peek at it from a different angle. You see him waiting. That ball hung up there. That's a finesse type pass. I guess it's just the shock with that carpet. That's a hard carpet. That's one of the things that the players hate about the artificial turf. I take it back. He got up momentarily, but is back down now.
So Raymond Berry perhaps losing his starting tight end, who is an outstanding blocker. Derek Ramsey will replace him. He's a better receiver. So the tragic start apparently for Lynn Dawson, judging from the pain that he is in. Walter Payton, incredibly reliable, does not fumble that often, and his second carry results in the turnover.
Long delay here. You'd like to have a chance to capitalize instantly, as the Patriots attempted to do on that pass. And Raymond Berry told us very quickly yesterday that he said, we will not be predictable. People have talked about what they have done in terms of running and passing. There's the secret. Look at it right there. Takeaways. Look what they have done in this playoff series.
So just underway in New Orleans. We played a bit over a minute. The injury timeout. We'll pause for these words.
So Chicago Bears 0, New England Patriots 0. Now at this point I think it would be worth me explaining the pattern of commercial breaks throughout certainly the first 3 hours of tonight's game. Normally during an hour and a quarter our regular Sunday evening 6 o'clock shows, we take 3 breaks of 3.5 minutes each. Tonight, as you've already noticed, things are different.
Obviously a serious injury. The Patriots have only 2 tight ends, Dawson and Ramsey. In many cases like to use 2 tight ends, especially with that 46 defense of the Bears. That really handicaps them.
Will make it difficult for them. You mentioned, though, that Ramsey a very fine blocker. It may change what Raymond Berry and his offensive crew of coaches are going to be able to do with their flexibility in this ball game.
2nd down and 10 after the turnover and the long delay for the Dawson injury. Eason over the middle to Morgan, through his hands, and he had a touchdown. Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, may have gotten a piece of the ball in flight.
One of the things that makes Mike Singletary a great linebacker is his quickness in getting back into coverage. Look at the way he goes back to help Leslie Frazier here. Arriving at the last second and reaching in. I don't think he got a piece of that ball, but he bothered the receiver, the normally reliable Stanley Morgan, who was thinking touchdown all the way.
Eason's first 2 passes have been right on target to Dawson and Morgan, but shows nothing for it. Out of the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Open is starring, incomplete in the end zone. He had been chased off course by Mike Richardson, number 27. Otis Wilson applied the hit on Tony Eason.
The Bears put a clock on you. There comes Wilson from the backside, and Eason feels the teeth of this Bear rush. He just barely had time to throw it and hang it out there. They're going to have to try and pick the field goal to settle for 3, but the first points in this game, very critical. If the Patriots can get the 3, gives them the edge.
Franklin 7 for 9 in the playoffs. This one from 36 yards. Eason to hold. It's on its way, and New England has the early lead. Franklin good from 36. Payton's fumble turns into early points for the Patriots. We have 13:41 remaining in the opening period.
The Patriots have done it all year with turnovers. They've started the game sensationally in this Super Bowl against the Bears. The secret was to get out on front, score first against these Bears, put them in trouble. That's just what the Patriots have done. It's just what they wanted to do. Get their defense on the field first, get the offense to score a quick one. Now the Bears are in trouble. They've got to come from behind.
Something that neither the Rams nor Giants could accomplish, and that's to score on the Bears. And Tony Franklin's kickoff sails out of bounds in the 5-yard penalty. That'll give us a chance to update you on Lynn Dawson. We understand the injury is to the left knee, and the Patriots tight end is out for the game.
They'll have to re-kick that ball, and The shutout that these Bears had talked about and dreamed about a bit, obviously gone. Walter Payton, I'm sure, and again, I think the waiting, standing there, the eagerness to be involved in this game is hard on every team. And we said that both coaches wanted to lose that toss. I think they wanted to put their defenses out there and get some whacking in while the offenses kind of settled into this game. That was the mistake that Mike Ditka did not want his offense to make. But Payton is saying to himself right now, hey, that's one series. I'm going to have plenty of chances in this ball game.
Only cost him 3. Could have been worse than that if Morgan had caught that slant over the middle. We saw that statistic. Only 4 times do you give up the lead and still win the Super Bowl of the other 19. This one is sailing toward Willie Gault at the 13. Gault, dangerous in the open field, brought down by Rod McSwain at the 30-yard line. A 19-yard return.
These New England special teams challenging Chicago right off the bat. They kicked that ball right to Gault. No question about it, too, Dick. A lot of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl have come on special teams. In that area, I feel that New England does have an advantage, although 2 of our kickers have had sickness problems this week. Camarillo has had a back problem. That was a muscle problem. And Butler was very sick earlier in the week.
Butler, the place kicker for the Bears. Jim McMahon sets up shop at the 31-yard line, trailing 3-0. His first pass. Incomplete and almost intercepted by Don Blackman. It was intended for the tight end, Emery Moorhead, and Blackman had a hand on it.
Some great linebackers on the field today. Blackman, a co-MVP last week, along with Fred Marion. You see him saying, I could have had 6 with that one. Here's the play. He's coming to the outside, and the similar play to what we saw earlier with the ability to run and to root out those receivers. I'll tell you, these linebackers have incredible quickness.
That's Gault slotting left. Going long to Gault. He's there, and it's a big gain for the Bears to the 25-yard line.
The one thing that Rod Rust will preach to his defensive players, we don't want to give up that long shot. He'll tell those defensive backs, don't you bite on the short ones. That's just a pure up. Gault simply outruns Lepet, and Lepet, making the turn, did not see the ball in time, or he could have knocked it away.
They mark it at the 26-yard line. That's a 43-yard gain, and the Bears, trailing 3-0, are already in field goal range. Payton out of the backfield, and Suey, the fullback. Tough to bring down, is inside the 20. Suey, whose father played in the early days of pro football and played against George Halas.
What a bull he is. And the thing that makes him even more imposing is the fact that they'll fake that little toss out to Walter Payton, and you've got to respond to that, and then they'll hammer Suey right up the middle.
The Bears, the best running team in the NFL this year. The Patriots tough against the run. The Bears, however, were number 1 against the run as well. 2nd and 3. Suey again. He's got the first down inside the 15-yard line. His granddaddy, Bob Higgins, played in for the Canton Bulldogs against the Chicago Staleys of George Halas back in 21. He's playing with some heritage on his side.
Now watch Suey here. Again, the defense responds to Payton, who does a good job of blocking. Suey was so sure he was going to get hit that he has all of his weight forward, and he ends up losing his own balance. But boy, he had his shoulders about 6 inches off the ground there.
Both wide receivers to the right. Gault split with McKinnon now in motion. First down at the 14. Payton. And he is a marked man. Gains maybe a yard or 2. Tippett and Nelson, 2 Patriot linebackers with the stop.
Strength of this defense, and we talked about it in our pregame show, is really in the back 7. They don't get the kind of aggressive play out of their defensive line that the Chicago Bears do, but this man has put together a highly disciplined defense. That's Rod Rust, A totally different philosophy from the Chicago Bears and Buddy Ryan, but this man knows his business. I'll tell you, one of the most studious and respected of defensive coordinators in the NFL.
McMahon under pressure. Intended for Payton, and there's Blackman again. That's 2 times that this linebacker from Tulsa has had his hands on a possible intercept.
I'm sure he's just shaking his head. Twice we've seen him get in good position. Right here does a good job of reading that play fake and getting outside. Just enough finger on that ball to knock it away. Had he knocked it forward, there was nobody out there to stop Blackman or one of the other defensive backs or linebackers from going all the way down to the Bear end of the field.
3 wide receivers deployed by McMahon out of the shotgun for the first time. 3rd and long from the 13. McMahon likes to run. He's got an avenue. Oh, what a hit at the 10-yard line by Ronnie Lepet. Oh, my.
McMahon literally flies into the air after that hit, and some of the Bears offensive linemen up there quickly to try and protect their quarterback. McMahon, as you may have heard early, has suffered from a bruised hip all week long. Well, this shot will not help that body of his.
Yeah, we thought we were going to leave his derriere behind, so to speak, but that one may awaken that whole business. Kevin Butler will try to tie it. 28-yard field goal attempt. Rookie from Georgia. He kicked in the Sugar Bowl here in this stadium. And he's got it. With 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's tied at 3.
We'll keep a close eye on McMahon to see if this hit did indeed reactivate that injury. But head over heels. That hurts.
That was a big play by Ronnie Lepet on McMahon. Lepet is aggressive, a hitting defensive back, and sometimes he's not so good on coverage, but he can hit. McMahon had the injury to his back during the week, and he had his own acupuncturist in here to treat his back. He's healthy for the game, but that hit has got to have an impact on McMahon. You take many hits like that as a quarterback, and it's got to influence you. It's got to make him think when he starts to run out of that pocket again. He likes to run, but I think the Patriots have got them. I've keyed in on him now, and I'll keep him inside that pocket. Let's join our NBC commentators, Merlin Olsen and Dick Enberg.
2 tough defenses, and as befits that kind of statistic, each holding the other to a field goal early. Butler to kick it off. Down the middle. Stephen Starring. 20, 30. Stephen Starring across the 40-yard line before Dennis Gentry can drag him down. 37-yard return by the former quarterback at McNeese State.
Field position so critical. Starring looking right into the lights. Picks this one up, and this has been a Bear weakness all year long. Starring just lines it up, finds some room behind Cedric Jones, 83, and turns on the afterburner.
3-all, Tony Eason. Remember, now he's working with 1 tight end, Derek Ramsey, lined up on the right side. Collins in motion. Eason overshoots his man. Starring at the 40 of the Bears. Well covered. Jim McMahon, we understand, nothing bruised but his feelings on that cartwheel tackle of Lepet.
Very physical style of defense from both of these teams, although their defensive philosophy radically different. The Bears will pressure with 8 and 9 men. They stack everybody up on the line of scrimmage. They dare you to throw that football outside.
Apparently McMahon came with more than 1 headband. We saw the POW missing in action. Another play action that freezes the defense, and then the pass is poor. Stanley Morgan was open at the 46, incomplete.
Poor execution on Eason's part on that play, but William Perry, number 72, the refrigerator, coming from the inside, working on that play on Hog Hanner, number 73. And Perry, one of the men that finally put pressure on Eason. But if you had the clock on Eason, he had a lot of time to throw.
Well, Morgan missing the easier chance down at the goal line. This one off the top of the carpet. That was Eason's fault. So it's 3rd down and 10. The Patriots, a running team, have done nothing but pass in this first quarter. And so it is. And Eason will eat it. He was sacked 6 times in the second game of the year by the Bear defense. He's down for the first time today. Dent and Marshall in Buddy Ryan's defense get the sack.
Watch the 2 defensive linemen inside, driving to this side, and coming from here around the other side, a defensive lineman that's going to pop free. Or make that Wilbur Marshall, number 58, a linebacker who gets wide open up the middle. And that's the way they'll do it. They simply overman you. You haven't got enough bodies to block all those Bears. Wilbur Marshall, number 58, in on the sack.
Keith Ortego, number 89, is back at the 25-yard line. Rich Camarillo, bad back and all, hits a good one. Ortego at his 20. And McSwain misses the tackle, but does force him down at the 28. The Bears have the ball. 8 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. It's tied at 3. And the Patriots, a running team. They only threw 12 times against Miami in the championship game. They've thrown it all 6 times they've had the ball so far in this one.
Raymond Berry said he would not be predictable today. Indeed, he's come out and broken all of the molds and all of the tendencies that he'd established in the playoffs.
Here's McMahon off play action, and he's going deep. Galt at the 47-yard line. Galt, who caught a 43-yard toss to set up the Bear field goal.
You've got to respect Galt's speed. And when he's burned you deep, you've got to give him room. You don't even see Lepet. He's breaking out of there. You see that as soon as he turned his back, Galt broke back to the sideline. And McMahon, with a good arm, is able to get him that ball. McMahon strong enough to throw that pass, pick up the big gain.
Total yards all in the Bears' favor. The score is even at 3. First down at the 47. 18 yards on that toss to Galt. Tight end in motion. McMahon throws it away.
One of the things that frightens you about McMahon defensively is his mobility. He'll run in 2 ways. He'll run to the outside to get a little extra time, as he did in that situation. But he will also explode up the middle, as we saw him do earlier, and as he did against last week for a touchdown against the Rams. I think he does that as well as any quarterback I've watched in a long, long time.
Steve Grogan, who relieved Eason early in the season when the Patriots were 2-3 and led them to 6 straight wins. Then he had his leg broken and some damage to the knee, but could play. He's taken some snaps this week and could play in relief of Eason. 2nd and 10. Galt in motion. Fake to Payton. There's McMahon on the scramble, but he has to eat it at the 45. And the Patriots have their first sack. Dennis Owens, number 98, in on the play. Owens from North Carolina State.
Nowhere to go on the backside. McMahon thought he might be able to find an opening inside. No such luck. The Patriots playing well on defense, although I'm sure they're concerned about those 2 big passes that they've given up.
Ball at the 45-yard line, 3rd down, about 12 and a half. 3 wide receivers and McMahon in the shotgun. Ken Marjoram is in on the right side. He's easy to find. He's wearing those black high-top shoes. Give to Payton. That's a play that the Patriots have used well in the playoffs. Andre Tippett on the back of Payton after short yardage, and the Bears will have to kick it. And there's one of the stars of this New England team, Tippett from Iowa, going to the Pro Bowl. He was second only to Richard Dent in sacks this year. He had 16 and a half.
Exploding off the outside. He got the first chance at him, and Roland James, 38, came up to pick it off.
Irving Fryer, bad finger and all, cut a tendon. He's wearing that little cast on his right pinky finger. And it doesn't seem to bother him. Watching him warm up, watching him in practice this week, he caught the ball very well. The best in the league returning punts this year. Beautiful kick by Maury Buford, and Pryor will just let that one bounce into the end zone. So the Patriots on a 52-yard punt by Buford will start from their 20-yard line. Pryor, the very first man picked in the draft 2 years ago out of Nebraska. There you see both the back of the hand and the palm of the hand.
Ahmad Rashad said something very interesting. He said, you know, when a receiver or someone handles the ball hurts a finger, often it forces them to concentrate more thoroughly on the ball. And sometimes they actually catch the ball better with an injury like that than they would if both hands were in a healthy situation.
Tony Eason, Champagne Tony. Charles Carroll III. Will he run the football this time? Now he's deep in his own end at the 20. He's got good field position the other two possessions. Collins and James behind him. It's Craig James, and nothing there except Bear defense. Mike Singletary, 50, plugging the hole.
Mike Singletary is the signal caller. He's the leader on the field for this defense. He looks to the sideline to take the signals. Watch his arms. He's calling defensive adjustments right up till the snap of the ball, and then explodes quickly into James's legs. Now, I tell you, that's a tough job when you have to call all the adjustments for a defense and almost do that automatically while you're settling in on your own responsibility.
What a hitter he is. Second down and 10. Eason dragged down by Steve McMichael, fumbles. The Bears have it. They rule it. Yes, it is a fumble. And number 99, Dan Hampton, has it for the Bears. McMichael was the one who made the hit and forced the fumble.
Attacking defense. And they're attacking those Patriots right here. McMichael from the outside, Hampton from the outside, but there's McMichael working right there on 61 Wooten, and the ball already is loose as Eason heads for the ground. And there's the celebration by Dan Hampton.
Credit 95, Richard Dent too. They had Eason in that sandwich, and they had him going one way, and Dent popped him from the backside. Dent, the NFL's leader in sacks this past year. So the Bears have a great opportunity inside the 15 of New England, tied at 3, 5 minutes left first quarter. McMahon throwing back to his tight end Moorhead. And finally the red shirts catch up with Moorhead at the 5-yard line, but it's a good game.
Dick, I can't believe it. There was a clip on that play, an obvious clip by McKinnon, and nobody saw the clip. They came in from the backside, threw right on his legs, and knocked him down. McKinnon is going to throw right here on Blackman. Look at him, right on the back of the legs. He knocks him down off of his feet. Here's the play. McKinnon, 85, right on the back of the legs. Now, you can't tell me that's not a clip, and nobody threw the flag.
Well, the referee was right there and saw it differently. So the Bears on that transcontinental pass to the tight end have a gain of about 8. It's 2nd and 2 at the 5. Payton. Close to first down yardage, near the 3.
That play, one of the many gimmicks that the Chicago Bears will run. One of the Patriot coaches said they have every gimmick known to man.
He is short of the first down. The ball is spotted just inside the 4. 3rd and less than a yard.
Well, I'm sure the officials will look back at that one. The ruling, I'm sure, that they would like to make was that that block was started on the front of the body or thrown on the hip. But when you end up on the back of the legs, as he did right there, coming from that position, hey, if I'm an official, I got to throw a flag on that one, Dick.
So 3rd and less than a yard as the Patriots stack it up inside. And McMahon sneaks ahead. It appears to be enough for the first down. That's an interesting play because we talked to Ditka earlier in the week, and he said George Halas who hired him before he died at 88, never interfered except in one case. He said, my first game, we had the ball around the 2-yard line and didn't get it in on 4 tries. The next day on Monday, George Halas sent up a couple of quarterback sneaks. He said, it's a good play. He said, I still have it in my game plan. I've had those 2 plays in ever since. He just used it.
Well, the Papa Bear would have applauded that one as they pick up the first down. Patriot defense with its feet lined up in their own end zone virtually. Chicago would love to punch this in and take that 7-point lead.
Tied at 3-all. Time remaining in the first quarter. They go with a double tight end, Moorhead and Reitman. Walter Payton. And they smother Payton for a loss. Terrific penetration. Ronnie Lepet came up from a corner to force Payton inside and into a lot of red shirts.
No one runs in traffic, and no one runs with better strength than Payton. You hear the crowd responding. That's William Perry on the field, but look at that great attack there by Lepet, and then the swarming of the red defense. Oh, the Patriots are over there with about 8 bodies, and there's the refrigerator.
The rookie from Clemson, Perry, 308 pounds or so. 5 rushes, 2 of them for touchdowns. Also caught a pass for a touchdown. Became a folk hero in football this year. It's Perry's going to throw the ball. No, he decides he'll try to run through people, and he doesn't get very far. So they unplugged the cord on the refrigerator, and we've got a little extracurricular activity.
Somebody trying to get the handle off the refrigerator there.
Perry.
It's still not over with.
Asked him how much he weighed when he was born. He said 13.5 pounds. I was born on December 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Well, his nickname on the team is Biscuit. Dan Hampton said he's a biscuit away from 350. Well, he's a little bit nifty there. Gets out of 1 tackle, but they weren't taking any chances. They said, we'll go get him with 6 of us.
Officially ruled a sack since Perry apparently had designs on the throw. It's 3rd and goal from the 6. McMahon to Thomas, incomplete. Calvin Thomas, the intended receiver, was open, but Julius Adams, the jewel, 37 years of age, playing in his last game after 15 fine seasons, was the man who pressured McMahon into the errant throw.
Coming off the outside, working on Jimbo Covert, and they still say he's the quickest of those Patriot linemen, even after all those hits and all of those years in the trenches. Very fine play.
So Kevin Butler to try one from apparently 24 yards away to give the Bears the lead. Steve Fuller holds. And the Bears lead 6-3, but for the Patriots, the moral victory, they stop Chicago 1st and goal at the 3. Timeout, 1:26 remaining in the first quarter.
And taking a brief timeout, we've got time to show you William Perry and Ditka allowing Perry a chance to throw the football on this. Now that's kind of an insult to the defense, to put that guy out there and say, hey, we're going to let him throw a pass on you. Did not work. Goes as a sack. You see the reaction of this defense.
Perry says, hey, 6 guys. That's a little too much weight on me. And it did take all 6 to ground him.
Well, I mentioned that the Chicago Bears have every gimmick known to man. I'll tell you, they've got it.
Bob Greasy has been studying the offenses. What do you have, Robert?
Well, here's what Perry saw. Watch Moorhead right here. He's going to come in motion, and he's going to try and sneak into the back of the end zone to receive the pass. Now, watch Moorhead, 87, and you'll see that Perry makes a pretty good decision because he is covered pretty well, and that'd be a tough throw for a quarterback, let alone a defensive tackle, Merlin.
Well, I'd say I kind of enjoy seeing them put a real talented athlete back in the backfield.
Well, he made a good decision in not throwing the ball. It was a good non-throw.
Kevin Butler kicks it off. Starring the middleman for New England has it at the 5. Stephen Starring, and he's toppled at the 18-yard line. Good coverage by Brian Cabral and Wilbur Marshall.
Bears coverage team saying not this time, starring. Tony Eason starting at his own 18-yard line on this play.
75% of the time in the postseason, they've controlled the ball and running the football. Eason throwing only 16, 14, and 12 times in the 3 playoff wins, but busier today. On the ground to Craig James, caught in the backfield. And a fumble, and the Bears have it again. Richard Dent appeared to be the man who charged into Craig James. Gary Fensick was there as well, and the ball is in the hands of the Bears inside the 15.
Buddy Ryan's attacking defense. I think he's talked to them and said, hey, these Patriots have been stripping the ball away. Let's strip it ourselves. 95 attacks the football. Look at him right here, just stripping it away from James and dropping it down. Fensick there quickly to get his hands on it.
We told you that Dent led the NFL with 17 sacks. He also led the Bears with 7 forced fumbles with plays like this. And he's given the offense another golden opportunity. 6-3. Bears lead and have the pumpkin at the New England 13. Suey down after a couple, shy of the 10. Refrigerator saying, now the next time I'm going to heave that thing. I want to get the ball in my own end where I can really unload along with
the air. Well, the pressure that we talked about from that aggressive Bear defense, and they just come out there and attack you. As we said, the philosophy is so different on these two teams. And Buddy Ryan says, hey, we're not going to give you a chance to move down the field. We want that ball back right now. Well, they did it right there, taking it away on the first play of that drive.
2nd and 8 at the 11th. Whoops. Don Blackman was offside. Suey is in the end zone for a touchdown. The flag is down, but unless Blackman was drawn offside, Chicago has 6 more. Touchdown, Bears.
Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
You'll see number 55, and he just got off too quickly and then stopped, and that's the mistake. You never stop on defense when you go offside, because that's exactly what can happen to you. It's a free play for the offense. That one ended up with a free touchdown.
Butler's try for point. And the magnanimous play of the New England Patriots and the tough defense of the Bears. Back-to-back fumbles by New England, and the Bears pick up 10 quick points and have the lead with just seconds left in the first quarter. Matt Suey, the touchdown maker.
Suey simply attacking the right side of the Patriots, or of his own offense. The left side of the defense cuts back against the grain between the linebackers, and diving into that end zone.
Here it is from the other side with Blackman out of the play, and a fine cut by Suey. And the big fullback, who had only 1 touchdown all season long, can relish that score here in Super Bowl 20. And for Raymond Berry and the Patriots, a matter of, hey, if we can't move it, at least hold on to it.
That's one thing they have done very well throughout the playoffs, is not turn the ball over. Easton has not thrown an interception. They've had, what, 2 fumbles, Dick? So they really have done a great job of protecting the football.
23 seconds left in the first quarter. And Butler to Starring at the 8. Stephen Starring bumped out of bounds at the 24. Reggie Phillips, 48, made the play for Chicago. Well, Merlin Olsen, you talk about this Bear defense. Unquestionably #1 in the National Football League. from the statistics right down to the fans in the stands, and they have shown their strength the last two New England possessions. And look, in the hole, a -22, the New England offense.
They've got it in reverse at the moment, and they've got to change and go the other direction.
James gets the call, and he's out to the 27-yard line. Little late hit. William Perry made the stop.
I think the refrigerator's still stoked up over those bangings he got down there when he became a quarterback.
And that's the end of the first quarter, and it's the Bears fans who stand and cheer. Chicago by 10.
Look back at the week of the Super Bowl tomorrow night at 10 on Channel 4. Ian's been in New Orleans since last Monday, and in tomorrow's program he'll be charting the course of the week from before the teams arrived to the scenes in the city after tonight's game. Ian Waldridge at the Super Bowl tomorrow night at 10 on Channel 4.
Long before he realized his pro dreams, Jim McMahon was destined to be a Bear. In Gaelic, McMahon means son of the Bear. Goes back to 1100 AD to an Irish king, Man the Bear. Eason knocked away. A good play by Mike Richardson at the left corner, intended for Stanley Morgan. Steve McMichael applied pressure. Let's look at the first quarter statistics.
Very one-sided stats. Boy, how many times do you see negative rushing, negative passing, negative total yards, and of course the possession time, which the Bears have dominated all year long. And Buddy Ryan's point well made. He said part of the reason that we dominate in that area is because we don't let teams keep the football that long.
Here's Buddy Ryan. Interesting interview with him. Ahmad Rashad in the pregame show. He's outspoken. Eason to Greg Hawthorne, and on his back is Dan Hampton. Hampton not fooled a bit, and the giant end from Arkansas registers another loss.
Big Dan Hampton right in the middle of that defensive line. 99. Watch him here around Pete Brock, number 58, and they almost had that play popped to the outside. They were going to hand it off to Hawthorne in motion, but Hampton quick enough in the penetration to break it up.
Rich Camarillo into punt. Keith Ortego, a rookie from McNeese State, is back at the Bear 33-yard line. Good kick. Ortego at his 30. And returns about 11 yards. The Bears in good field position at their 41 after the 47-yard Camarillo punt.
John, the Bears then leading 13-3. Is this the way you expected it to go?
No, I didn't. I expected the Patriots to come out throwing and Eason to take short drops and try and keep the defense off him, but he's incomplete on 6 attempts right now at passing. They need to establish the passing game to stop this ferocious Chicago rush. When Chicago played the Patriots earlier on the season, this is exactly what they did. They put pressure and intimidated Eason. And right now, he has to shake this loose. He has to get out of it, or there'll have to be Steve Grogan in.
Just joining us, the Bears lead 13-3. The longest play for New England in this game is 3 yards. They do not have a first down as yet, and the Bears have picked up 10 points their last 2 possessions after recovering New England fumbles deep in the Patriot end. Chicago with the first down after the punt at the 41-yard line. Calvin Thomas hit hard. Gain of maybe a yard. Thomas from the University of Illinois. Nelson and McGrew made the tackle.
Dick, I'd like to correct something I said earlier. I said that the Patriots had only turned the ball over twice. Their offense has only turned it over twice. They've turned it over twice on punts, so they've turned it over 4 times off of their total. And you see a very serious and reflective Raymond Berry. He does not like the way this game is going so far, but he won't tell you much. He won't tell you much. You look into those eyes when they're winning big. He's still got that same look.
2nd down and 9. McMahon to Thomas, hit immediately at the 46-yard line. McGrew and Tippett collaborating on the stop. A 4-yard pickup, bringing up 3rd down and about 5. Those 4 linebackers, you said way back in the middle of the season, Merlin Olsen, you felt that that was the best linebacking core in the NFL.
Well, they certainly have made their mark. They've got some fine backups. They actually have 8 good linebackers, and Clayton Wysoon, who 2 years ago was their best linebacker, of course, has been injured. Been out really for a year and almost 2 years. They feel he'll be back and challenging for a position next year.
McMahon out of the shotgun. And it's Gentry on a handoff. Dennis Gentry plowing for a 1st down at the New England 46. Fred Marion and company with a stop. But in essence, a reverse. Gentry lined up on the right side, started slowly in motion, and takes the handoff from McMahon.
Another one of those gimmick plays, if you will, an unusual play. And when you have extra time, you can put more of these into your bag of tricks. Ditka's got it all going for him today. Of course, Gentry with that great speed off and out of the backfield as a ball carrier anyway. Very comfortable in that role. Did a good job of picking up the 1st down.
Payton and Suey, the starting tandem, are back. And Gold in motion. The throw to Gold. Ooh, good move by Willie Gold at the 39-yard line. A pickup of 7 more. Willie Gold, you'll remember him as part of that world record-setting sprint relay team in Helsinki at the World Championships back in '83. Ran the 2nd leg, and boy, he made himself a lot of extra money when they saw him pass everyone on the far side.
Well, you've got to believe that his speed will scare you. He has 69 yards today, a couple of big catches. Look at him right there. Oh, just twisting around. Not just a sprinter. He's a football player.
2nd and short for McMahon and the Bears. McMahon looking long to Suey, and it's another big gain for the Bears at the 15-yard line. Claiborne made the tackle, and they are throwing everything at New England.
They're coming right at this New England Patriot defense, but I think it's been burned a couple of times deep, and they've backed off a little bit. McMahon finding lots of room underneath. It looked to me like Claiborne stumbled a little bit as he started back towards Suey. That made him late enough that he could not cover the ground to knock that one away.
Well, that's often a dangerous pass. Suey in motion, and that deep swing down the sidelines. The ball hung up there,
It's
but
up there a long time.
Claiborne was playing too far off his man, or at least that area. 1st down. Suey. Oh, the big pullback powers through 2 hits and leaves a wake of red as he goes inside the 10-yard line.
Right now, these Bears able to do whatever they want. Ditka standing next to Ed Hughes, his offensive coordinator, deciding on the plays. Let's see what they did to Andre Tippett on that last play. Tippett trying to work to the outside. Ben Thomas, 99, driven way off the ball. Tippett shielded from the play, and there's the shot. Thomas getting a hand around Suey, but Suey just spun away for 4 more yards.
2nd down and 3. Suey again. And he's toppled at about the 7-yard line. That'll be short of the 1st down.
Dick, when you know that your defense has really established the tempo of the game, and that's what's happened here for the Bears. They have dominated so thoroughly. It just gives you a free hand offensively. There's the signal going in from Steve Fuller, the backup quarterback. Often the Bears will signal with 2 people. They're a little paranoid about people stealing their signals. That's kind of a Bear tradition. They used to do that often in the past. Still enjoy doing some of that.
third and a long yard. Suey has the first down at the 5. Now, apparently the Bears scheme, Merlin Olsen, has been the New England Patriots keying on Walter Payton, so give it to Suey.
In that 2 weeks that these teams have had to wait, both of them have been able to do a good job of scouting themselves, of profiling their own performance. And I think in the process have said, how can we break some of those tendencies? I think we're seeing that from the Bears today, and we're seeing plays, obviously, that this New England Patriot defense has not seen in the films.
Well, it's the first thing they have not done well. McMahon upset he could not read the signals coming in from the sideline, and the 30-second clock was already down to 14, so he has spent a timeout. It comes with 8:07 left in the first half. Teacher and pupil, and they haven't always seen eye to eye, McMahon and Ditka. Ditka's given him his freedom. One of the writers here described McMahon as a laboratory experiment gone awry. He is a character, but this is a charismatic team, the Bears, and they've captured more than just Chicago with their play and performance this year. First and goal at the 5. Chance to really blow this open. It's Payton. Cut down at the 3. Garen Veras was down low to stop Payton, and here comes the refrigerator. William Perry joins the backfield of Walter Payton. Suey goes out.
I think my favorite of all of his plays of the year was in that Dallas game when he tried to pick up Payton and carry him into the end zone. Well, big fella, you've made the lineman proud. We know we can carry the ball. We're just glad somebody gave us a chance to do it. Uh-oh.
And McMahon didn't like the setup that he saw defensively, or was running out of time, whatever, so he has called his second timeout in this series. No spot to make a mistake. We have a 13-3 lead and chance to jump up 20-3. Well, let's see what the exchange brings us this time.
Ed Hughes goes out to meet him, maybe to see exactly what was wrong.
He is wearing gloves and thereby set some sort of trivial record. First quarterback to ever play a Super Bowl game indoors with gloves, a carryover from his winter experiences at Soldier Field.
It's interesting. He's talked about the slickness of the balls, and he said, you know, I can't ever get my hands on those balls properly, and I always was losing the passes. Everyone has watched as he's thrown those end-over-end egg beaters. He's not a crisp passer anyway. They said he threw the ball better with the gloves on last week, or 2 weeks ago in that game against the Rams, than he'd thrown it before. And he said, I'm going to keep these suckers on. He said, I can throw the ball better, get a better grip on that ball than I ever could with my bare hands.
Said two things. One, when you use a ball in practice, as they will in college ball, and then into a game, you wear off some of that gloss of a new ball. And he said, I also have a small hand. He said, I actually have just as good a touch, and I throw a much better spiral with the gloves on. He said, I might use them again all next season.
Well, he's had good accuracy today. He's thrown some interesting passes. Well, I'll tell you, a defensive nightmare trying to figure out where these Bears are going to go next. They're using every trick in the book, but executing extremely well.
Well, now they've got two tight ends in and an extra guard. The only running back, true running back, is Payton. They've got nothing but linemen, including William Perry in the backfield. Moorhead, one of the tight ends in motion. Perry, what drives through, and following behind is McMahon for the touchdown.
It almost looked like an option play, and there you see McMahon head-butting with his offensive line. Early in the year, he had done some of that and then showed up one day with a back problem. Ditka said he thought it was from the headbutts. He said, I don't want you guys doing that anymore. I think McMahon said, hey, this is a Super Bowl. We're going to butt those heads.
Here's Perry driving, faking, and then just driving somebody. Oh, my goodness. Did he destroy Larry McGrew?
I think Larry McGrew thought he'd been run over by a truck.
Butler to try the point after. And the Bears, the solid favorite in this game, beaten only once all season long. The top team in the NFL are showing the Patriots why, as they have jumped out to a 17-point lead.
This was the reaction on that last play as McMahon carried it in for the touchdown.
7:24 remaining in the first half.
The Bears have been dominant offense and defense. The defense has provided 2 fumbles for the offense, have given them great field position. They've stopped Tony Eason from passing. They've stopped the running game the Patriots are known for. On offense, the thing that surprised me is that they've moved the ball on this Patriots defense. They've stopped Peyton. I mean, the Patriots stopped Peyton, but Suey's become effective, and McMahon is great.
Talk about the differences in character. Well, McMahon and the Bears have certainly been animated, and Eason very quiet in a lot of ways. But here's Starring trying to change things, and a saving tackle by number 59, Ron Rivera from the University of California. Well, Bob Greasy, that touchdown looked as if they had a couple of blocks in the point of attack.
Well, you talk about a decoy. Right here is Perry. He's going to come right in here and get McGrew. Now, it's really an option. Peyton is going to come this way, and McMahon has the option to pitch it back or turn it up inside. But the block, you say, number 72 Perry on McGrew, and McMahon has the option to pitch it back and sees the hole up and heads in for the touchdown.